Sits in a jail cell. He is back in Idaho, accused of killing young Michael Vaughan.
You're pure evil. You have no heart. You have no soul.
Wander is accused of murdering her then 5-year-old son in 2021. Would you think you'll ever get the answer as to why?
No, because there is no answer to why. Why would somebody hurt an innocent little boy? What answer could you give? What answer could you possibly give? How scared was he? Did he ask for me? Did he ask for Tyler?
Stacey Wander has been charged with first-degree murder and second-degree kidnapping and destruction of evidence.
Michael "Monkey" Vaughan went missing from his Fruitland neighborhood on July 27, 2021.
This is a criminal investigation.
Now, more than 4 years later, in newly unsealed court documents, Fruitland police named 4 people they believed are involved in Michael's murder. Those 4 names are ones we've heard before.
This is Sarah Wandra. This is Sarah's husband, Stacey Wandra. This is Brandon Shirtliff, Adrian Lucian.
As for what these 4 people have in common, they were all staying at the Wandra's home when Michael disappeared in 2021. That's just half a mile from Michael's home where he was last seen. In the PCA, police pointed to video evidence they say showing Shirtliff walking around the neighborhood. They say Shirtliff helped move Michael's body in a duffel bag temporarily to his mom's home in Kuna before standing guard as they buried him in the Wandra's Fruitland backyard. Stacey Wander told police the 4 hoped to sell Michael for $10,000 each. He says the idea came from Adrian Lucian. Idaho News 6 is now learning Lucian was arrested and released in Indiana in October for a traffic-related misdemeanor. Sarah Wandra is currently serving time in the Idaho State Prison System for unrelated charges. She's eligible for parole in early 2026.
Karen, is there any connection between the Vaughan family and the home where police had been searching?
No, we've heard this more than once from the family representatives and from the police department that there is no connection between the Vaughan family and the home where this search took place.
As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wandra's home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wandra's residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed.
An hour's worth of body camera footage showing Stacey Wandra FaceTiming with detectives and directing to where Monkey's body was buried in his backyard.
It's like right under that mound area. It's right under the mound. About where at compared to the trees?
A little like right to the right of the trees area. It should be, it should be a garbage bag.
Okay, what color is the garbage bag?
It would either be white or black. We only have two colors.
Is the duct tape still going to be over his mouth?
It should be.
Okay.
I didn't watch to take them off.
Okay.
So you should have everything intact as it was.
He claims he watched the burial happen.
Okay. How far down is Michael?
I don't know how far she actually dug.
And the she he's referring to, that's his wife Sarah, another suspect in the case. Stacey says Adrian, a third suspect, was also there for the burial.
Out of 300 homes, police say canines tracked Michael's scent to the home where Stacey, his wife Sarah, and their two roommates Brandon Shurtleff and Adrian Lucien lived.
As Joe mentioned, a newly released probable cause affidavit filed in June lays out the interviews following Michael's disappearance. Again, during these initial searches, police say canines tracked Michael's scent to the fence line of the home where Stacey Wandra, his wife Sarah, and their two roommates, Brandon Shurtleff and Adrian Lucien, lived. All four of those individuals have been named people of interest in Michael's disappearance. One of Michael's neighbors told police they saw Michael riding a bike outside of the Wandra's home the day that he disappeared. Another neighbor said they saw that same tricycle at the Wandra's home during a garage sale months before Michael disappeared. The Wandras initially denied any involvement, but then in November of 2022, Stacey asked to meet with investigators. The PCA states Stacey claims he was home the night Michael was allegedly abducted and saw Sarah carrying Michael into the house. Stacey allegedly told police it was Adrian's idea to take a child to sell for money, and they would get a $10,000 cut. Stacey claims Sarah told everyone to, quote, follow her lead. Stacey told investigators they took him to Brandon's mother's home in Kuna that night, where they left Michael overnight. Stacey claims the other three returned to Brandon's mom's house the next day and brought Michael back to the Wanderers' home in Fruitland. Stacey told police Michael was not alive, and Sarah and Adrian buried him in the Wanderers' backyard. 2 days after Stacey's interview with police, they executed a search warrant and excavated the Wanderers' backyard. The affidavit says cadaver dogs alerted to the same area where Stacey told detectives Michael's body was buried, but to this day, Michael has not been found.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It is March 17th, 2026. Welcome to Missing PNW Crimes Revisited. So happy to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in to support the Vaughan family and to fight for justice for Michael Joseph Vaughan. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Wood chipper is here. Toaster. Rach, just Rach. Mama B here. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. Shelly is here. Ashley Higgins is here. Thank you guys all so much for coming in. I really do appreciate it, and I know the Vaughan family does too. AV is here. Thank you so much, my beautiful moderator. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for all those blue hearts. Callie Dime is also here. Thank you so much. Please thank all the moderators. They do a really good job of keeping this chat a good place to be. Miss Rizzo is here. All in the Tanks is here. We've got Katie. Hello, Katie. Thank you for coming in. Clever Phase, Trish, Criminal Med in the house. Under Your Scars is here. Karen is also here. Thank you guys all for coming in. Renee is here. Gemini is here. Rhonda is here. Miss Rizzo. Thank you guys all so much for coming in. Shannon is also here. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Today is kind of a lazy, relaxed Q&A. I hope everybody has their questions ready. Otherwise, we'll just go over some shorts, maybe some videos that I have. Wood Chipper gifted 1 Missing PNW Crimes Revisited membership. If you received that membership, could you please thank Wood Chipper? Thank you so much for that. Let's just start dancing right off of the bat. Thank you. $10.12. Carly is here. Thank you so much for dropping by. Lots of new faces, lots of old faces. If you're new here, thank you. Welcome into Missing PNW. Kimberly is here. Emily. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome. We're here to just ask questions. There is a lot going on in Michael Vaughan's case right now, especially after Stacey Wandra's preliminary hearing. So I just wanted to sit here and try to answer questions. Missing persons around the world. Good to see you, Sarah. Thank you for coming in, hun. Karen just showed up. Good evening to you too. Thank you for coming. I know it can be really difficult, you guys, to keep up with everything going on. I have just been pumping out the information. I'm getting lots of questions in chat that I am missing during the lives. I'm getting questions in the comments after the lives, messages in my messenger. So I thought it was a great idea to just have everybody come in and ask whatever questions you want to ask. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you, hun. Always nice to have Brandy's sissies here. Michael Vaughan was abducted in Fruitland, Idaho on July 27th, 2021. There are 4 named suspects: Stacey Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shurtleff. Stacey Wandra is going to trial, and he's been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Sarah Wandra is sitting in prison, but she will not be released a free woman in October of 2026. She will also be charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Both Stacey and Sarah have a long history of criminal activity. Sarah Wandra is also very, very violent. Adrian and Brandon, they're out on the streets. They haven't been arrested yet. The reason for that is the number one question that I get more than any other question is, when will Adrian and Brandon be arrested? I think after Stacey's preliminary hearing, after information came out, I believe that they will be arrested, possibly before Sarah Wandra is. And I say that because, especially Brandon Shurtleff, he was in that GMC truck when Michael's body was transported to his mother's house. One of the key aspects that was talked about at the preliminary hearing was that Stacey Wandra, even though he didn't kidnap, or says he didn't kidnap Michael, even though he says he had no involvement with his murder or the duct tape or any of those things, he still participated in transporting Michael Vaughan to Cuna. And that in itself is intent. And Brandon Shurtleff was also in that car. Adrian Lucien, in his own words, has admitted to having knowledge of Michael Vaughan's abduction. All of these 4 suspects have been mentioned in the probable cause affidavits that have been written on both Stacey and Sarah. The DA has said that all individuals involved will be prosecuted. I know it's very difficult for all of us to sit back and know that there are still 2 monsters out on the street. It is very disturbing, but we have to trust the process. We have to. Fruitland Police, the district attorney, they've all worked very, very hard to get us as far as we have gotten now. And Stacey is going to trial, and we have to keep the faith. And just think, if Stacey Wandra ends up in prison during his trial, the chances of Sarah Wandra ending up in prison for the rest of her life also could happen. There's 20,000 pages of discovery, 20,000 pages plus of evidence. Michael Joseph Vaughan wandered away from his home. Many people saw him in the neighborhood. They witnessed him losing his flip-flop and having to put it back on his foot. We have heard that witnesses have came forward that said they saw Michael riding a tricycle on Red Wing and Meadowlark, which is the street, side street of the Wanderer's house. We know cadaver dogs have alerted at the Wanderer's house after Stacey confessed that Michael was buried in their backyard. Michael was moved to an unknown location, and Brandon Shurtleff knows exactly where Brandon is now, or where Michael is now. Cadaver dogs also hit on the Lexus that was owned by the Wanderers. Cadaver dogs also hit at Brandon Shurtleff's mother's house, where Michael Vaughan was taken. Those things are huge, huge. I am believing and trusting in the system. So are Tyler and Brandy and the rest of the Vaughan family. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a long road. But we can't think about what's ahead. We have to keep thinking about today. We have to keep thinking about now. You know, we don't want to future stress. I know that there are many people that want to go to that trial. I know I'm one of those people. I know Justin from Clutch Them Pearls wants to go. And we'll try to make it there and support the Vaughan family. If anybody has any information, any tips at all, please call Fruitland Police Department at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Okay. Yes, and Sarah could also be another person that knows where Michael is. I believe they both do. Sarah's probable cause affidavit mentions that she was home during the time during the time that Stacey was in prison, and that they actually insinuate the fact that Sarah Wanderer could also know where Michael is. Good news is, though, know for a fact that Adrian Lucien has been watching. There was a message sent to somebody that talks with Adrian, and Adrian said, Damn, y'all be hating hard. You lame as fuck. Yep. Adrian is watching, and we know Brandon is watching because they watch everything. Absolutely everything. And that's a good thing. Let them watch. Let them see all of the information that's coming out from the preliminary hearing, all of the evidence, all of the stuff. I wonder if it will televise it, especially. Let me see. I wonder if they will televise it, especially if they move it. Yeah, I don't know. From what I mean, I know they didn't televise some other really important cases in Idaho. So I'm not sure if they're going to televise this one. Prayers for Brandy, Tyler, Papa, and all the family. Thank you so much, Mama B. Sending lots of hugs and prayers to the Vaughn family. I know that they really, really appreciate all those prayers. Thank you, Wood Chipper. Just want to share a short that I did today. Michael Joseph Vaughan was abducted on July 27th, 2021 by Sarah Wandra, Adrian Lucian, Stacey Wandra, and Brandon Shirtliff. On July 31st of 2021, Stacey Wandra changes his profile picture on Facebook to Michael Vaughan. He says here, this is a child that went missing in our neighborhood and has been gone for 5 days and no one can find him. He is only 5 years old. We know in the Why is my computer bogging down? Oh. Missing in our neighborhood and has been gone for 5 days and no one can find him. He is only 5 years old. We know in the probable cause affidavit now that on August 1st, 2021, Fruitland Police contacted the residents at Sarah and Stacey Wandra's home, interviewing all 4 suspects. Stacey Wandra changed his profile picture the day before. Is this Stacey Wandra's trophy? Killers collect trophies such as personal items or photos to serve as tangible visual rewards that symbolize their absolute power, control, and domination over the victim. These items allow killers to relive the thrill of the murder and maintain their fantasy. Sarah Wandra made a TikTok and Michael's flyer is hanging up on the Wandra's refrigerator. Stacey Wandra said that his wife, Sarah, put the flyer on the refrigerator. Was this Sarah Wandra's trophy? No one but the 4 suspects are going to see this flyer hanging up on the refrigerator. Michael Joseph Vaughan was abducted. I know that we have spoken about these pictures before, but here's the thing. At Stacey's preliminary hearing, Stacey, in the interview with detectives, after he called detectives to come talk to him, talks about the flyer that Sarah Wandra put on their refrigerator. He said that it bothered him and disturbed him and broke his heart to see Michael on the refrigerator every day. It dawned on me. First of all, I'm watching a true crime show last night, and it's mentioned that pictures can be used as trophies. I all of a sudden realize about the flyer, the picture. I also know that Stacey Wandra had a flyer of Michael in his phone. So it really made me wonder whether or not these flyers and this picture on his Facebook could have anything to do with it being some kind of trophy for them. And if that flyer up on the refrigerator that Sarah Wandra put on their refrigerator bothered Stacey Wandra so much, why would he have a flyer in his phone? Why would he have a profile picture of Michael Vaughan? There are so many layers in these criminals and the way that they think. I have recently really just started digging deep into their mentality. I feel like having these pictures was some kind of trophy. The flyer that's hanging on the refrigerator can only be seen by the suspects living in the house, right? It's not a flyer that's outside of their house. They're not trying to bring awareness for Michael. They're looking at him on the fridge every time they get into the fridge. And we know Sarah and Stacey like to eat a lot of food, so you know how many times they saw him. And this happened right after Michael's abduction. They are all four monsters. Monsters. It is twisted. It is absolutely twisted, Kelly. I mean, it didn't even dawn on me until I watched that true crime show last night and it got mentioned that photos can also be trophies. I knew that already, but something like a light bulb went off of my head. It's very disturbing. And even this is disturbing because this also goes in kind of with the trophy thing. Let me put up another.
Me and Sarah got in her car and backed up, switched vehicles, and went and kind of tried to drive around the neighborhood a little bit and search for him at that time.
In Sarah Wandra's probable cause affidavit, Sarah said that after returning home, she and Brandon took her blue Toyota and drove around to help search for the child. In later interviews, Sarah stated she and Brandon went to the gas station for soda and candy prior to helping with the search. Sarah said that on that night, she drove down Southwest 9th Street for the first time and drove past Michael's house where she saw Michael's mother crying outside. So after Michael Vaughan is abducted and murdered, these two sick individuals decide they want to drive by and watch the pain and suffering of a mother of a missing child.
Again, it's just showing their mentality. I believe that since Sarah wanted to kidnap people and take control years and years and years ago, that all of the flyers and even driving by the Vaughan family's house the night that Michael disappeared was part of her fantasy. To see just the chaos in front of the house, to see Brandy Vaughan crying. Brandy did not know where her baby was. She was living in a horrific nightmare that night and has been for the last 4.5 years. And we've got suspects getting off Not only on seeing the chaos, but seeing Brandy cry in front of the house. It goes so much deeper than I think most of us have understood up to this point. Hello, Purple. Good to see you, hon. And excuse me, I got a little bit of a tickle. Yeah, it is. It's pure evil. Thank you for throwing up the trigger warning. I appreciate that, Shannon. The more I read the probable cause, the more I think about the things said at the preliminary hearing, the more I go through all of the information that I have collected over the last couple of years, the more and more I see just how disturbing they are. And when you hear, excuse me, when you hear the district attorney say it was their plan to convince everybody that they had nothing to do with Michael Vaughan's abduction, we have seen exactly that. Every single one of them deny publicly. But in the background, that's not true. We've seen Adrian's post and his knowledge. We know now that Brandon says he has witnessed seeing Sarah and Stacey with the duffel bag. Stacey has confessed. Sarah Wandra has said that Stacey did it and buried Michael in the backyard. That happened right when that warrant was served in November of 2022. It was the first thing out of her mouth. And we know these suspects are lying about a lot of things. But when they talk to law enforcement, they have leaked a lot of information. They've only tried to convince the public that they have not done anything to Michael Vaughan. And that trip to Cuna to tow back Brandon's car was an alibi. And that's proven with telephone communication between Stacey and Brandon. It's proven when Tina Mariel says that Brandon had to call and verify his story with Sarah before going and talking to law enforcement. I have a couple more things I want to share real quick, and then we're going to get to the questions. So I hope everybody has your questions ready.
This is a picture of Adrian Lucien on July 27th, 2021, the day that Stacey Wandra says Adrian Lucien and Sarah Wandra kidnapped Michael Vaughan. If you have any information about Michael Vaughan's abduction, please call 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. This is a picture of Adrian Lucien. It's the most recent picture from October of 2025. If you have any information about Adrian Lucien's current location, please give a tip to Fruitland Police at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Adrian Lucien has distinctive tattoos on both sides of his neck, chest, and both arms. Adrian Lucien is a named suspect in Michael Vaughan's abduction and murder. This is a picture.
One more here. I really expressed this. It worked very well in Kyron Horman's case. If you see Brandon shirtless, ask him where Michael is.
This is Brandon shirtless. He lives in the area of Kuna, Idaho. He is a named suspect in Michael Vaughan's abduction and murder. It is believed that Brandon Shirtliff moved Michael's body from the Wandra's backyard to an unknown location. If you see Brandon Shirtliff, ask him where Michael Vaughan is.
One more thing actually to share. Sorry about that. I thought I was all done. I want to get these in right at the beginning of the live because I want Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucian to know we're not going away. We're Monkey's Army and we're never going away.
In the probable cause affidavit on August 1st, 2021, just 6 days after Michael Vaughan was abducted by Adrian Lucian, Fruitland police contacted the residents at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. On their initial search of their residence, they located Adrian Lucian hiding in a closet like a coward. Residents of the home on that date and on July 27, 2021, were identified as married couple Stacey and Sarah Wandra and their sublets, Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucian. All four were interviewed on August 1st, 2021. Adrian was vague in his statements and wouldn't commit to a solid statement. He also refused to provide his social security number for identification confirmation. He provided Stacey's phone number as his own and concealed his real phone number with law enforcement. Cell phone tower data and surveillance footage shows Sarah, Stacey, Adrian, and Brandon were in the area of the neighborhood at the time of Michael Vaughan's disappearance. Adrian's phone did not provide any location data during the evening of July 27, 2021. However, Adrian took a photo, in the guest bathroom at the Wandra's residence at 7:26 p.m., not long after Michael's abduction. Stacey Wandra said that it was Adrian's idea to sell Michael. In interviews with detectives, Stacey Wandra said that Adrian Lucian and Sarah Wandra abducted Michael. In that same interview, Stacey said that Adrian and Sarah were yelling and screaming at Michael to shut up. Adrian Lucian knows what happened to Michael.
Now, this is where Monkey's Army comes in, okay? You guys tell me all the time what a good job that I do, and I appreciate it every single time I'm told. I love every single one of you guys. I bust my ass, and I do it for the Vaughan family. Now, I want Monkey's Army to do me a favor. Go over to the shorts on my channel and hype up, like, and comment on both Adrian and Brandon's shorts, the ones that I just showed you, asking to find where Adrian is, asking for tips, and asking Brandon Shirtliff where Michael is. I want their faces everywhere. Everywhere. If you could do that for me, if you could do that for Monkey and the Vaughan family, I would really, really appreciate it. We gotta blast them, you guys. We gotta blast them. All right. So I hope you guys all have some questions for me. Like I said earlier, Adrian is watching, you guys, and I know Brandon's watching. Adrian sent a message that said, "Damn, y'all be hating hard. You lame as fuck." Adrian, you're lame as fuck. Why don't you get your ass down to Fruitland, Idaho police and tell them everything you know? Stop acting like you do not have anything to do with Michael's abduction and murder. Brandon, you better start talking too. Get down to Fruitland Police Department. Tick tock, a race. It is a race. Who is going to talk first? Who is going to talk first? The first one to get that plea deal is going to get the best deal. You better get down there. Brandon, you've already been offered a plea deal. You know it exists. You need to do the right thing. You told Brandy you were going to do the right thing. You told Brandy you were going to call and talk to her. You said you wanted to do everything you could to help. Well, help. Start talking. All right. Say it louder, Sam. Such a piece of shit, all four of them. Weak individuals. They really are. Samantha, also the flyers of Michael Vaughan with the 4 monsters. Yes, you can share that all over social media. I just want YouTube, because those shorts, man, when you hype them up, comment and like, even if you want to just leave monkey hearts, justice symbols, whatever you want to leave as comments, it won't take you guys very long. Adrian and Brandon's face will be all over, because people share things from YouTube onto their social medias on all different kinds of social media sites. Usually I would just say share anything, and yes, share anything you want. But let's hype those up, like and comment. Let's get their faces out there. Let's have everybody in Idaho, when they see Brandon, ask him where Michael is. We know, law enforcement knows where Adrian Lucien is. But if I know he's watching, that tells me he's going to go on the run. That's why I want everybody that sees Adrian Lucien to call in a tip. 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Lean on me. Good to see you. Adrian, it's time for you to come out of the closet. Where's Michael Vaughan? Okay, you guys, so I'm going to scroll up a little bit and see if anybody has any questions. If you have your questions, please start putting them there in chat. I will try to get to as many as I can. And, you know, like I said, if I don't see a lot of questions, what I'm going to do is just, you know, play some videos and stuff that I have that are in my computer. And I can even put, you know, Monkey's face up here right now, his beautiful face, while we're talking. Okay, hello, Sam in chat. I'm not in chat often lately, but I am here. I just watch YouTube on my Roku. Well, Miss Rizzo, I'm very, very happy, or Miss Riz, I'm happy to see you. Everybody comes in and definitely supports the Vaughan family and Michael. We just want justice. I'm just scrolling through the questions here. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I had my corned beef and potatoes and cabbage earlier this week. Miss Rizzo has a question here and just says, my only question would be, do they have a plan of how they're going to get each one? Like I assumed Sarah's next, and then they are gonna see who gives what information before they get the other two. I don't know if that's exactly what is going to happen here, Ms. Rizzo, but I do know the district attorney has said, and I heard him say it again in court, that he's going after all 4 of them. And he's going after anybody that's involved, not just these 4 suspects. Anybody that was involved with Michael's abduction and murder, anybody hindering any information, anything like that. People are going to go down. This district attorney, Mike Duke, he was really serious about, you know, going to go after people involved. And I trust Mike Duke. He was a very amazing man. Thank you for coming in. She is the most lovable, beautiful mama on the face of the earth. There's a question for you. Where's Monkey? I can't answer that question, but I know two people that can. Brandon, Sarah. It's time to start talking. Give a thumbs up for this live. Get this out in the algorithm. Brandy will get justice for Michael Joseph. You are a beautiful angel boy. I know Michael was your son, but he is all of our son. Monkey, we are bringing you home, baby. Rest in peace. Thank you for that. He is so beautiful, isn't he? He was a very sweet boy, is a sweet boy. Okay. Many people putting stuff up. Bless you, babe. He's just getting over being sick. He's still sneezing. I have yet to get sick. Knock on wood. I refuse to be sick. Oh. Maybe it will just be easier to pin it on Stacey. I don't know. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Well, maybe it will be easier to pin it on him, but the thing is they all have involvement and they're all going to go down. Just the fact that the district attorney talked about intent, aiding and abetting, and those kinds of things in Idaho, you can't run away if you're watching somebody else abduct a child. If you're watching somebody else, I can't remember exactly the way he described it, but basically keeping Michael without permission. He used a lot of different words, but you can't aid and abet. You just cannot do that when it comes to a missing child. You can't just sit there and watch. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. Rogue's here. Good to see you, hun. Sending lots of loves, hugs, prayers to the Vaughan family. I'm still getting through these chats. I just pray to God they know where both them are and they are being watched like a hawk. Justice for Michael Joseph Vaughan. Where do I think Brandon is? Brandon is at his mom's house in Kuna. He has been doing DoorDash. That was the last information that I was given. It was just a few weeks ago by his ex-girlfriend. They just broke up again. To find the answer from Brandon Shurtleff of where Michael is. It is believed that he does know where Michael is. Yeah, has no idea how lame I can be. Adrian, yeah. Let them keep talking. Let them keep talking. Let them keep hiding, running, doing all the things. It's just going to make it worse for them. Shannon is talking about that she thinks that they might, let's see. You would think they would. They did with the BK and the Daybell trials. Well, I hope that they do the trial. If they do the trial and I can't make it down to Idaho, I'll be right here streaming. Yes, I am lame at least. I won't be the one inside a prison cell without air conditioning for the rest of my life. Exactly. It gets hot. Yeah, especially in Idaho. I wonder if Mama Tina knows how Brandon threatens people online. If Brandon Shirtliff mom gets on the internet and watches things as much as Brandon does, which I think she does, I think Kay and Ed, Sarah's parents, do the same thing. I've put online, it's also on TikToks, the things that Brandon Shirtliff has said to people and the threats. Brandon Shirtliff has threatened to harm people in many different ways, using pew-pews, gonna cut the throat, you name it, he's threatened it, and it's all because somebody's asking him where Michael is. So why would he do that? Why? If he had nothing to do with it, why would he threaten anybody? You'd think because he lived in that neighborhood right across from where Michael Vaughan was abducted, he would have a heart and just, I'm sorry, I'm not involved in any of this. I don't know how to answer that question, instead of threatening people, because the threatening shows he's hiding something. And now we know that Tina Muriel did tell police that Brandon Shirtliff, her son, had to call and talk to Sarah Wandra to verify their stories before going and talking to law enforcement. That is psychopathic, to literally respond about a picture of Michael that he and his cronies kidnapped, and worse. Wow. They are all really, really sick. Shannon says that they do Dahmer, Harvey Gladman, and Lonely Heart, Unaliver, Rodney, what is that, Akala, The Dating Game, Unaliver, and a few others. Well, good. Maybe they will televise the trial. We hung missing flyers up in our car windows for a missing little girl in my area long ago. I'm so glad that you did that. It's so amazing. Like I had a lady come into Michael Vaughan Case Revisited group saying that she had, said something about having some information and that people weren't listening to her, and it just kind of made her upset. And I told her, thank you, for coming forward, because even if your tip isn't credible, that doesn't matter. What matters is somebody took the time, told somebody, because if you see something, you say something. These are our babies. You can't not call in a tip if you know something. Again, that telephone number is 208-642-6006, or find Michael at fruitland.org. I mean, look at his beautiful face here. How could you know something and not call in something? Yeah, right? Why would they put it on their fridge? I never thought of that, but you could be right. Who else would see their fridge, right? Only the people that would come into their home, only the 4 suspects. That whole picture thing now creeps me out. And then I had somebody come to me, Spirit Seeker Squad messaged me or left a message in comments or something in one of the shorts and told me that Stacey Wandra inside of his phone even had a picture of Brandon Shirtleff's mom's house and a flyer. So not only does he have pictures of Michael Vaughan, he has a picture of Tina's house in his phone. What does he have that for? Another memory? Another trophy? It's disgusting. Man, Purple gave me an amazing link last night, Monkey Monday, when I went over to the round table. Her and Wendy and their crew found this amazing link with the most amazing timeline that had so much information in it. I will be also going over it. Like, there were things in this timeline that even I didn't know. And I'm not shocked when it comes to hearing things in Michael's case. I usually have heard, 90% of it. But there was a lot of stuff, and we definitely will be going over that. All of their online activities have been playing games about this tragedy. Their time will come, and I do believe that too. Thank you. Trigger warning, take care of your mental health. Yes, please do that. I even got a message today from Brandy. She was thanking me for everything that I do and wants me to protect my mental health. She knows I'll take a break when I need a break, and talking about a break, tomorrow's Wednesday. I always go see my grandbabies on Wednesday. Everybody knows that. I don't know if I'm going to go live Thursday. I got invited by a group of my girlfriends to go out, do some shopping, go out for dinner, go see a movie, and celebrate our girlfriend Kathy's birthday. And I'm going to go, but I don't know if I'm going to do a live before I go. So, yes, they are evil and they are cowards. Still going through. I'm not seeing very many questions. Sarah's demonic. All as ugly on the curb side as they are on the inside. All for garbage. Pale kids, monsters are not likable. They will not do well with a jury. So in between that and them telling on themselves, they will all be found guilty. I believe it. TikTok, Brandon. Where's Michael, Brando? Hey, Adrian, Brandon, it is a Q&A. If you're listening, come on into chat. Ask me a question. Any question. I'll tell you the truth. Yep, you said it right. Garbage pail kids. All 4 pieces of poop. Keeping an eye out for you. Myself, along with many other Indiana residents, will keep sharing your information until you are where you belong. Thank you so much for coming in. Webs of Deceit. I really, really appreciate that. Let's see. Here it says, and let me get this. I'm going to keep playing Michael's beautiful face. Key symptoms of, let's see, psychopathy. Courtesy of Robert Hare's book, Conscious, Emotional, Egocentric, grandiose, lack of remorse or guilt, lack of empathy, deceitful, manipulative, shallow emotions. Well, that seems to describe all four of them, doesn't it? How can you stand outside and watch a mother cry while she's missing her baby? Ohio is sharing it too. Keep sharing, you guys. Just keep on sharing. Hi, Sam in chat. Sorry, I didn't know why I only have a tiny screen tonight on here, but listening. Lori, if you go over to Missing PNW Crimes Revisited, you can pick from 1 or 2. I started using horizontal and vertical live streams. It gives me a chance. I got sent something by YouTube that says, hey, you should check this out, because now I can stream 2 lives at once. 1 vertical, 1 horizontal, which is going to get more people watching Monkey's face. Last night, well, actually early this morning, I went to see how many views my live from yesterday went after using the vertical and horizontal. I had way more views than I normally do. So it is working. And as long as it continues to work, I'm going to do vertical and horizontal. So all you got to do, honey, is try to find, whichever one you like. And if you like the horizontal one, you can just go to my page and click on one of the lives till you see the horizontal. I know it's very confusing, and a lot of people like the horizontal, but it really is going to help get Michael's, the awareness for Michael out there. Shannon also says social deviance, impulsive, poor behavior, need for excitement, lack of responsibility, early behavioral problems, adult antisocial behavior. Yeah, I mean, they were all really antisocial as far as I could see. They all, hung out at the house. It was kind of like a party house. You have behavioral issues from an early on, especially with Stacey Wandra. His mom, Tammy, did everything she absolutely could, sent him to a developmental facility to help him. And it wasn't until he killed their family cat that she says, okay, enough. And we know what happens when you're harming the animals in your house. We have heard it many, many, many times talked about how that's like the first sign of someone that actually wants to even take it a step further and start harming people. And look what happened. Stacey Wandra's wrapped up in an abduction and murder. Stacey is definitely part of the dark trade. Doing it, Sam. I've done, liked, and shared some. I'll go back and share them all. Thank you, Mama B. I appreciate that. I just want those two very, very important ones, so we can keep an eye on Adrian Lucian, and so people know to ask Brandon where Michael is. If I was in Idaho, I would be standing outside of Tina Marill's house with a sign, because you can do it as long as you're not on the property. You can do it in front of the street, or stay on the street. Don't get violent, don't cause a ruckus, and don't get loud. Just a sign. Where's Michael Vaughan? Rogue says she always hyped my videos, and I appreciate that, and I will do that now. Thank you, hon. You guys are amazing. Amazing. I couldn't even ask for a better chat. Samantha, also the flyers of Michael Vaughan with the 4 monsters. Yep, that's a good one to share. Stacey is trying to get the deal. He will testify against all of them soon, in my opinion. If Stacey knows where Michael is, of course he will tell them where Michael is and get a plea deal. But he ain't getting a plea deal if he don't know where Michael is. That's it. You're getting a plea deal if you know where Michael is, and that's the only way you're going to get a plea deal. Adrian, how about you grow a pair and come forward? Oh, but you won't. Why? Because you are a little bee. Your mom is so disappointed and disgusted in you, or in who you have become. I guarantee it. Oh, yeah. His mama passed away years ago, and I bet you she's just rolling over, shaking her head at you, Adrian. You know your mama is so disappointed. Look at the way you've turned out. In October, you're sleeping in a bus, getting busted by the cops. Now you got a warrant out for your arrest. And you're involved in an abduction and murder. Your mama was watching what you did on July 27th of 2021. Guarantee. She even hopes you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. The LE have the suspects' phones from back then. Sarah and Stacey Wondrous sold phones, destroyed SIM cards. I do know that Stacey Wondrous said that Sarah and his phones were taken by law enforcement when he went to go talk to LE, law enforcement, about unrelated charges, and then they handcuffed him and arrested him on the charges for, the pew and took his phones. So they had them at that time. If law enforcement was able to get their hands on any telephones, they have them. Do I know that for a fact if they have any of their phones? That I don't know. But knowing they did have those phones at one time, if there was anything on it before they gave those phones back, you can guarantee if they don't have the phones, they have the information on the phones that they had. Let's see. I'm a few minutes behind, but is that comment by Adrian recent about being lame AF? Yes, it is. It's from yesterday. He said yesterday, damn, y'all be hating hard. You lame AS. Well, AF. Yeah, that was from yesterday. I got sent that message by somebody that Adrian messaged yesterday right after my live. He is not liking the stuff going up on social media right now. Not at all. Let me see. Is Sarah talking any? If you're talking like if Sarah's talking to law enforcement, I don't know. But I do know that Sarah Wondra is pissed. She is very aggravated with Stacey right now. She knows that at the preliminary hearing, she was accused by Stacey of kidnapping Michael and bringing him into the house, holding him tightly. Her parents are done with her. Done with her. And that is driving her crazy. Kay, her mom, was at the preliminary hearing. And she heard and saw things that she was not happy with. They are feeling like Sarah has lied to them. So, do I know if she's talked to law enforcement? No. Is she tripping out? Oh my God, yes. Do I think Sarah's going to talk? Yes, I do. I think Sarah and Stacey are racing to the finish line right now to see, if Stacey Wandry even knows where Michael is. And if he doesn't, and Sarah does, she'll get a plea deal. She's just going to have to show where Michael is, tell where Michael is. And she doesn't want the DP at all. She's terrified. She would rather sit in prison for the rest of her life than be lined up against the wall for the firing squad. Thank you so much for your questions. Ivy Mom, everybody else. 1012 Carly here says, Brandon, where's the Marlboro bag? Was it put in the garbage bag Stacey said Michael was in? I've wondered the same thing and had the same question myself, because Stacey says a garbage bag. And are you really going to put a duffel bag in the ground that can disintegrate and everything else, or start stinking? I mean, I'm sorry, trigger warning, but it's the truth. So putting it in the garbage bag would actually make sense before burying it, in my personal opinion. And Brandon, Carly wants to know where the duffel bag is. Brandon Shirtliff told Juanita Kelleher that he owned a red Marlboro duffel bag, and then asked, have you found it yet? Brandon, you didn't have that Marlboro duffel bag in your possession anymore. Where did it go? And why are you asking law enforcement if they found it yet? Why don't you take law enforcement to where you know the duffel bag is? How about that? Web of Deceit Untangled. Hey, Brandon, are you going to let your mama go down in this? What kind of pathetic POS lets his mom cover for him and risk her going to prison? Good point. Brandon, are you really going to let your mom go down for anything? Is she hindering the investigation? The DA says he's going after everybody. Have you told your mom anything? Or your grandma anything? We know they had a reason to get a warrant and go search your grandmother's green cemetery. Why don't you be a good son and father and tell law enforcement where Michael is? Stop pretending like you don't know, because we know you know. I just shared the shorts on my social media page and hyped the videos of Adrian and Brandon, Samantha. Nice. Like that. Yeah, I got the sniffles, or baby's got, my baby, my hubby, he's got the sniffles, sneezing still. I've just had the sneezes and stuff lately, but I've been out in my garden a little bit this last week, so he looks like my little brother, 6 years younger, when he was a towhead. I love you, monkey. Thank you, Shelley. I know what you meant to say. He already confessed and threw all of them under the bus with him. Yep. And those confessions are putting Stacey Wandra, in prison, in my opinion. He's going to trial. They are all involved. Oops, I think Sam is behind her chat's a little. I am way behind in my chat. I'm just going down the list here. Gemini, do we know if they will bring Stacey online shit show into trial? I know they're going to use everything they have against these suspects. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. And look what he has done and look what he has said. I absolutely 100% believe they will use the YouTube stuff in court. There is no conspiracy or lack of culpability in unaliving somebody. Even if he didn't touch Michael, he participated. Exactly. Love and support for the Vaughan family from Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much for coming in from Canada. I think I might be catching up a little bit. Oh, please order DoorDash to pick him up. How does Brandy feel about cameras in the courtroom for the trial? The cameras don't bother Brandy. If you haven't seen Brandy in front of the camera, I mean, she is a strong, strong mama bear. She has the strength and courage of no woman I have ever seen in my life. She stands tall. She puts her shoulders back. She gets the look of like, go to hell to those monsters whenever she is in front of a camera. I watched her do so many interviews at the preliminary hearing. Brandy's not scared to have cameras in the courtroom during trial. I guarantee you she does not. If she can be in that preliminary trial and face Stacey Wandra and talk to reporters, having those cameras in that trial ain't gonna bother her a bit. Not a bit. Thank you for your question, Emily. Does Misty still believe in Brandon's BS? I don't know if she believes in all of Brandon's BS. I'm still currently talking with Misty, even though they did split up. I believe that Misty knows more. And so I'm trying to, talk with her. And if she knows something, maybe, she'll tell me or go talk to law enforcement. Grabbing the tow strap to tow the car back as an alibi is participation. Absolutely, 100%. You are correct, Kelly. Avi says she's sneezing. I can't pass that stuff through the phone. And then you said, bless you. Yeah, my husband, he's just still sneezing. Why don't they drag all of these POSs in jail and let them rot there? It's crazy beyond me that they still get to be around children. It's sick and it's dangerous. It's frustrating. I have to agree with you, Carly. It is frustrating that they're out on the streets. Sarah and Stacey aren't. Adrienne and Brandon are. Fruitland is so tiny. I couldn't believe how small Fruitland was. It really is like a little bitty tiny city. Every criminal that is charged with something, that is arrested, has the right to a speedy trial. If they arrest all of them all at once, have them there all at once, they have to give them all a speedy trial. They have to be able to afford and give them attorneys if they cannot afford one. They have a plan. That's all I know. They have a plan. That community cannot afford to arrest all of them and give them a speedy trial and an attorney. And here's the thing. Say they did, okay? Say they arrested all four of them, charged all four of them, tried as hard as they could to give him a speedy trial, which Stacey Wander had actually asked for. And they can't give them everything they want, and they are rushing and, scrambling around trying to charge 4 suspects all at once, on top of the other murder investigations that are going on right now in Payette County. Then what's going to happen? What's going to happen is 1, 2, 3, 4 of them could go 3. 1 of the 4, 2 of the 4, who knows? It would not go well. The trials would not go well. And then they would be free forever and never punished, and Monkey will never get justice. And what matters is that Monkey does get a justice. And when that happens, doesn't matter to the Vaughan family, doesn't matter to Monkey's army. We want justice. We'll get justice for Michael, but we have to be patient. We have to trust in law enforcement and the district attorney. Yep, guilty. Brandon and Adrian are letting Stacey tell all and not defending themselves. Whoo, boys, Stacey gonna dig you guys a deep hole if you don't speak your side. That's exactly right, Shorty. Thank you for coming in. Chuck Anderson's granddaughter is here. Thank you so much for coming in, hun. Keep your location private. Just looking through. They tried to set him up. Set what up, Adrian? What did they try to set up, Adrian? It's time to talk. I love the ice cream pic. These are my favorite pictures right here. He was camping. This was just shortly before. He was playing with lizards, which I don't necessarily love lizards too much, but if he wants to play with them, he can play with them. Froggies, salamanders. These are my favorite pictures right here. Like, I absolutely love it. He's the happiest little boy ever, and sitting next to his daddy. Michael loved the Seahawks. Go Hawks! I love going over all the pictures. And I get sent pictures by Brandy all the time of Sweet Buggy and Mama hanging out doing things. Did he call her in jail to confirm their story? I wonder if anything said in jail calls. I don't believe that Sarah and Stacey can talk to each other while they're in jail. I know they were passing messages through Sarah's mom at one time. And I know the probable cause affidavit does say something about Stacey and Sarah speaking to one another. They were both telling each other that they were not going to turn on one another ever. And when Sarah was asked what that conversation was in reference to, she said Michael Vaughan. You can't make that up. You're having a conversation about not turning on one another, and the conversation is about Monkey. They did this. All 4 of these suspects had involvement. They are the suspects for a reason, and they are all going to be charged. Laugh out loud, Brandon. Nobody is scared of you. You are just a pathetic, educated man-child. Hunting a child doesn't make you look tough. It makes you look weak AF. Exactly. I'm getting there, you guys. I hope you guys are sending me some questions. Samantha, I said to that about those unalivers with them keeping pictures. Oh, got you. So all that information you were sending. Yes, I watched a whole show about trophies last night. What trophies are, wow, people, murderers do that kind of thing. Like, and it just dawned on me. It just dawned on me. It was crazy. Supporters from all around the world. By the way, you guys, I want you guys to know that this Mama B isn't Brandy. Brandy's handle for YouTube is B Mama V as in Victor. So it's B Mama V. When Mama B comes in here, everybody thinks you are Mama. Let's just see. Looking still. Unless you are the defense attorney who says you are not obligated to. It took everything I had not to lose it when he said that. These suspects really, really do. Here's a question by Ellie and the Tanks. Do you know if Ellie tried looking into the surveillance to see where Sarah went to when Stacey was locked up? That might lead to Michael, possibly. I know that they used a lot of the CCTV footage. I'm not sure where else there is CCTV footage in town. I know that they have looked at a lot of footage, doorbell cams, and everything else. If they thought that there was a way to be able to trace or track Sarah down by using footage, I would assume that they have tried doing that. I know in Kyron's case, his stepmother, who's been the main suspect for 15, 16 years now, they took footage from everywhere. They even asked the public to come forward with any footage. So I would think, as good a job as Fruitland has done, that they have looked into footage about where Sarah was, or even, other ways of trying to find out where she was, what she was doing. Innocent people come forward to argue and prove that they are innocent, yet they hide like what is that? Like parasites. I can't look at his sweet face without tears coming. It's hit me so hard recently, so I can't imagine what his family is going through. I'll tell you guys right now, they aren't doing well right now. They're not. Brandy hasn't been okay for a few days now. It's really sitting in everything. Michael looks so much like his mama. Yep. The whole family looks a lot alike. I was just thinking, since Stacey went to the splash pad, maybe he went there before scouting, or Sarah. I wonder if any of them had seen Michael days before. I don't know if they had seen Michael in days before. We just know that Michael wandered away that day. But we do know that all 4 of these suspects made a plan to take a child. Stacey wanders at a splash pad at a skate park. Sarah and Brandon are hanging out at the mall. Adrian Lucien is hanging out with them next to the mall. And I heard Brandon, because I was re-listening again to some more conversations that I've had with him that I have recorded. And he says, and we went back to the mall after we dropped Adrian off at Applebee's. So that right there insinuates and is saying that they had already all gone to the mall. And we went back to the mall after dropping Adrian off at Applebee's. So Adrian, Brandon, and Sarah had already been hanging out at the mall. Then they went and dropped Adrian off. And then Sarah and Brandon went back to the mall. They were out looking for a child to abduct, or maybe a young lady. But Stacey saying Sarah Wandra, Adrian, Lucian came into the house with Monkey and that they abducted him. Chuck Anderson's granddaughter has gifted one PNW Crimes Revisited membership. If you've received that membership, please tell her thank you. I appreciate you so much, hun. Let's dance a little bit. Here's a question right here. Question, is there a P.O. box to send a gift to Brandy and the family? I do not believe that they have a P.O. box, not that I'm aware of. And I get asked all the time what Brandy's address is so people can send her gifts. I am not personally comfortable with giving out Brandy's address. I know she loves and appreciates any and all gifts, but you would have to, find her address a different way. I cannot give that out. But that's very, very thoughtful of you. Rogue has a question here. Thank you for your question. Has the red Marlboro bag been searched for or even found by detectives? No. Not that I'm aware of. Because according to suspects, Michael Vaughan's in that duffel bag and Michael hasn't been found. Therefore, I would assume that the duffel bag hasn't been found. There were other stories by Stacey Wandra at the preliminary hearing. He said that Brandon Shirtliff brought back an somewhat empty duffel bag back to the truck and then told Stacey that he left Michael in the spare room at his mother's house. But he also said that Brandon Shirtliff took the duffel bag took the duffel bag past the gate and set Michael in the duffel bag outside, and Brandon went into the home. He also said that Michael was still alive. He saw Michael wiggling around in the duffel bag when Brandon Shirtliff was carrying it into the house. He also says that he didn't go into the house, but Brandon said that he did. I do not believe that they have found this Marlboro duffel bag. Do we know? Okay, this is from Leonami for Love. Do we know how long Michael was with them? Also, did he give to Wandra home, or was he? I'm not understanding your last question, but do we know how long Michael was with them? Stacey Wandra is saying that Michael was kidnapped between 6:30 and 6:45. The GMC red truck was seen on CCTV camera with Sarah, Stacey, and Brandon in it. And that's when they were transporting Michael to Cuna. So Michael Vaughan couldn't have been at the Wandra's home very long. 20 to 30 minutes tops. And then the drive to Cuna, which is about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. And Then, of course, Stacey Wondra changes the story again from Michael was wiggling around in the duffel bag to he believes that Michael had passed before they got there. Then he says that Sarah Wondra accidentally killed Michael by suffocation. Lots of stories. Thank you for your questions, everybody. I'm trying to, go through chat and answer as many as I can. Sickos, justice for Michael. Drove by, they could have stopped and let Michael Vaughan go, but no, Hartz had no intention of stopping their plans, in my opinion, not yelling, I'm just making a point. And that's okay. Make your point, girl. Road, Lori, it will show up twice for the same video. One is smaller, one is larger. Yes. One is vertical, one is horizontal. Antisocial personality disorder, aka psychopath, sociopath. Exactly. We've talked about this many times. Many times, Kelly. Yes. Stacey Wondra. This is something that I found out from a very reliable source while I was at the preliminary hearing, that Stacey Wondra killed his cat at a very young age. Well, he went into the developmental facility in Montana in 2014. Not real sure because I don't have his birthday in front of me to figure it out how old he was, but he was young, adolescent. Probably in his teens somewhere when he did that, and it was his mama's last straw. A very frightening situation there. The daughters in the house were absolutely horrified. Yes, out and about 24. Dig dogs alert at Brandon's mom's house. Yes, they alerted on a vent outside of Brandon Shirtliff's mom's house, and we know that Brandon Shirtliff put the duffel bag that Michael Vaughan was in and sat it down on the side of his house. One of the stories. Is it true some are saying Sarah may be involved with other murder cases? Gemini, I have never personally heard that Sarah's been involved with other murder cases, but I have heard actually from Brandon Shirtliff's ex-girlfriend that Stacey Wondra was involved and someone ended up being hurt, being killed. It was somebody that Misty hung out with, and I believe Misty even said that law enforcement had to talk to Stacey about this incident. Do I know that this happened for a fact? No. Did I hear about it? Yes. Do I believe it? I'm not sure. That's what I'm going to say to that. Aussie True Crime, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Question by Allie and the Tanks. Has Brendan ever spoken to the police about Michael's case? Yes. Not only has Brandon told investigators that he saw Sarah and Stacey put the duffel bag in the basement, he also, so Stacey during the preliminary hearing and during the footage that we watched said that it was either an orange or a red duffel bag. And detectives asked Brandon Shirtliff if he owned a red or orange duffel bag, because Stacey also says it was Brandon's duffel bag. And then Brandon said, yes, I had a Marlboro duffel bag. And then he proceeded to ask them if they had found it yet. Yes, Brandon has spoken to law enforcement. You hype shorts, Ashley. Maybe it doesn't hype shorts. Maybe it's just the lives. Brandy, hey Sammy. You know, I never asked you if I could call you that. You know what, Brandy? There were just a few people in my life that called me Sammy. And it was my dad and my grandmother. And those two people I love with all of my heart. My granddaughter's name comes very close to Samantha. And I call her Sammy because it reminds me of my dad and my grandma. And you, my love, can call me Sammy any day you want. I was also called Sambo by my dad all the time. And I got another girlfriend that will only call me Sambo. So yeah, I love being called Sammy by good friends. It's nice to see you here, hun. I hope you are doing well. There's the mama in the house. She has come. Brandy says, this is Michael Vaughan's mama. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here for Michael. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everybody's support and kindness. She loves those prayers. She really does. Sending prayers to the Vaughn family. Everybody's happy to see Brandy in chat. I'm trying to get to more questions. Put a Q in front of your questions if you want. It will help me get there faster. Rogue has a question here. Did any of them have iPhones? And how crazy that Stacey was always ordering new phones. They were selling phones, getting rid of phones. I mean, and this all started right after Michael Vaughan's abduction. And I'm pretty sure that they did have some iPhones, because I remember Stacey did some scam or something, buying a bunch of iPads, and was it iPhones too? I can't remember, so don't quote me on that one. But he bought a bunch of them after getting a loan, purchased them, and then went out and tried to sell them for way, way, way more than he actually purchased them from. So I'm pretty sure they did have iPhones. Brandy says, so many of you around the world have made these past 4.5 years a little less unbearable. Monkey is loved all across the world, and his face has been seen as well. And they're sharing, Mama. I had them sharing some stuff at the beginning of this live. The prosecution mentioned items being tampered with. Were their phones included? Yes. SIM cards got destroyed. Messages from their phones were deleted. They even deleted stuff off of their social medias. They sold furniture. They let their truck get repossessed even though it had been cleaned. The Lexus had cadaver dogs hit on it. And I just shared here recently that just 3 months after they went to the Wandra's home in November of 2022, their car was sold to a registered S offender. They have gotten rid of a lot of evidence, and I have heard through the grapevine, but have never been able to verify whether or not it's true, that all the footage, because they had like security cameras at their house, that that was not there for that day. And since I was able to find some footage, I did ask that question in a short, like, what happened to the footage from July 27th of 2021? But yeah, their phones were included in information that they had taken from them. Chuck Anderson's granddaughter says, very good to see you. Hope you are feeling better. Emily, oh wow, the audacity, especially after Stacey is going on trial. Brandy, you were in my thoughts, sending strength. I know she's looking through chat, looking at all those comments. I'm going to still look for questions. Michael's case makes me cry really hard, but with justice coming makes me smile. God got his back, and I am praying for Brandy and her family. Oh, I didn't know you were sick. I'm sick. My voice sucks, but I had an amazing day with my kiddos and doctor's reports. We even got to Cowboy today. Cowboy is a restaurant, I do believe, because we almost went and ate there while we were there, if that's what you're talking about. Yes, even burner phones can be traced. Makes me wonder, when he tampered with his phone, did he tamper with pictures, dates, and times? Well, we did do a live, me and a couple of other creators going through Stacey's phone, because I believe that a creator helped him change dates and stuff in his phone from pictures. But I would not doubt it at all if he tried. But when you go internally into the phone, it will still come up. Shannon, I love you. Thank you for checking on me. I love Shannon. She's amazing. Shannon, I got a hold of Brandy immediately. I was like, I don't know who this woman is sending me baby pictures of Monkey. Who is this? When you first sent me those pictures, when we first started talking. I wanted something sweet today, so I made myself some iced coffee, and it is so good. Wait, Sarah's parents are done with her? I don't believe that. I didn't believe it too, but that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. I thought that Allison was my daughter there for a second. Yes, please avoid using any other creators' names in chat, please. We're just trying to stick with Monkey. He's our focus. Love, peace, forever, the Vaughan family. Thank you guys for coming in. You are appreciated. Monkey's army is strong. McSporn, you are always late. You don't have to apologize. I know you watched the replay. Thank you so much for coming in all the way from Scotland. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's good to see you anytime. All of them ran up under their mamas, and Adrian ran up under his sister in the beginning. Yeah, and then his sister don't want nothing to do with him anymore, because she knows what a piece of shit Adrian is. Okay, just looking through. I love those pics with Brandy and Michael where she has sunglasses on her head and Michael in the green coat. It's one of my faves too. I love the pink hair that your daughter had. It's my favorite color. Mine too. What cities are they in? A Facebook tagging campaign of cities and counties could start. I bet the new neighborhoods don't know about these monsters. Bring Michael home. Well, I know Brandon's in Kuna, Idaho with his mom. At least that's what I heard last. Have there been any updates on Adrian's location? The last I heard was when he was in that bus. And I can't remember when that date was. That was the best camping trip ever. It was perfect weather. He had an amazing spot that had a little bit of the river that went through. You can see behind him and just behind the bushes. Those are my favorite pictures. I use that all the time for my thumbnails. He's smiling, he's happy. I just love, love, love those pictures of him. Brandon, would you go after the people responsible for taking your child? Do the right thing. If you walk behind Michael, right behind those bushes is a huge beaver dam. Shh, we only walked out on it just a little ways. Of course, I didn't have my camera with me. Oh my gosh. That would have been so cool to see. We've seen lots of beaver dams when we take our kayaks out around Silver Lake. It's like right under Mount St. Helens here in Washington. And they have like this little wildlife refuge, like 2.5, 3 mile loop through a slough. And we see all kinds of cool things in there when we're kayaking. I did get myself some mullein. Yes, I did. The last time you told me. And I use it whenever I am sick and I get better so much faster. I'm so glad you told me about that. I actually got myself some mullein tea, some pure mullein tea. And the last time I was sick, I wasn't sick for very long. And it really, really helped my cough. Brando isn't scared, not even dudes seeking prison husbands. General pop for all of them. Under your scars, get yourself some mullein tea. Mullein tea. I'm so sorry you're sick. I hate being sick. It's the worst. You know, there are 2 things that I hate more than anything besides these 4 suspects. That is being sick and car trouble. Don't let anything, happen to my car because I will freak out. Car trouble sucks. It's worse than anything, and I just do not like being sick. Speedy isn't so speedy. It's a joke. Still waiting on other case. Yep. That's why they can't arrest all 4 all at once. You're not going to be able to give them a speedy trial. There was also a double homicide from a year ago and recently a possible twin children homicide. Yeah, that's what I heard at the preliminary hearing. There were a lot of reporters talking about that too because there's a lot going on right now that Fayette County is handling. And if they do these cases all 4 at once, someone's going to walk free. if not more than one. It's important to just let us be patient, as hard as it is. As hard as it is. Thank you guys all for being part of Monkey's Army. I know you're very much appreciated. Chaos Mama, I believe that the grandma actually reached out to me asking me how I cope. Honey, I think we all ask ourselves how you cope, because I couldn't. You would have to lock me up in a padded cell for the rest of my life. Sam, do you think this is their first time kidnapping, harming a child? I don't think it's the first time that one, if not two of them, have harmed a child, no. I know some things that I have heard through the rumor mill about Stacey and Brandon. I know that Stacey did horrible things to his sisters when he was living there at the home. I've heard SA and other things. Brandon Shirtliff has been accused in the rumor mill of harming young boys. Do I know if these things are true? The one about Stacey? Yes. The stuff going around about Brandon? No, I am not sure on that. I love how the monster in the closet is calling us lame. How more pathetic can you be? Yeah, the one that just, is a coward. Like, Brandon, Adrian, if you guys got questions, it's a Q&A. Come on in. Prove to me that you've done nothing. Prove to law enforcement that you've done nothing. Yeah, I think you use Mama B on TikTok. You ain't got to change your name. I don't even think Brandy would want you to change your name, Mama B. Come on. I like my handle now, she says. Let's see. My best advice to any parent out there is keep your children off of social media. My personal opinion. I have 6 grandkids. There are a few that are into social media and a few that aren't. The ones that aren't are thriving. And I'm not saying the other 3 aren't thriving. I just see how it affects social media. It's just awful now. And Chris Madonna and Dr. Gary will even tell you that's the worst place for your children to be as far as predators. Trophies function as a linking outlined in profiles by predators of violent crimes tied to gratification, superiority, power, reliving. Interesting read. Yeah, I see you. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, watching that true crime thing, it just dawned on me, like, oh my God, they had pictures of Michael. And knowing that it's a trophy, and, again, I always refer back to Kyron Horman case because he's so near and dear to my heart, but even Terry Horman and the stepmother of Kyron Horman takes this last picture of Kyron standing in front of his tree frog picture and says, Oh, you mean the infamous picture that I took of Kyron? It's the one that was passed all over after his disappearance. And she likes that. It's like she's getting credit for something, even though she and her friend Dee Dee Spicer are responsible for his disappearance. It's sickening. It is absolutely sickening. He asks Mama every single minute, his energy and love with his big, beautiful personality. I'm telling you what, you guys, if Michael's personality, as I've been described, is anything like Buggy's, which I have been told she's just like her big brother. Wow, that's a lot of energy. Just saying, a lot of energy. Buggy is so high pitched, she just goes. I mean, there were 3 adults, 4 adults all hanging out, and she was wearing us all out. Every single one of us. Adrian likes young ladies, right, Adrian? Buggy absolutely loves Bluey. Definitely have learned new words for sure. My grandbabies, my young ones, they love Bluey too. Still looking for some more questions. If I remember correctly, did they hawk in a laptop? If so, wonder what was on it. Were they getting rid of evidence? Just my thoughts. They went to a pawn shop, and I believe they were purchasing things with... God, was it purchasing things or pawning something? I actually cannot remember. I cannot remember if they were pawning something, because I know I did ask Brandon Shirtliff if they went to a pawn shop that day. He said yes. He didn't want to answer who went into the store, but at another point when I talked to him the day before, he told me him, Adrian and Sarah all went into the pawn shop. Yeah, I don't know if they were pawning something or not. Just looking through chat some more for questions. Brandon has to be caught on camera somewhere. Stacey is a person that you couldn't like if you tried everything. And Brandon is seen on camera. There is footage of Brandon walking around 3 Rivers Way over by the splash pad and then going through like a wooded area headed back towards the Wanderer's house. On the day that Michael Vaughan was abducted, he was actually walking the neighborhood right about the time that Michael started wandering away from the house. A weasel, how could they? They must be evil. And they truly are evil. They really are. ICU has a question. I wonder if Stacey ever started fires or wet the bed. I did hear that he wet the bed. I know that, but I don't know anything about fires. And yes, those are all linked to, behavioral issues and stuff. And we know that Stacey Wandra has explosive disorder, which is just getting angry really, really, really super fast. Fetal alcohol syndrome. He named off quite a bit of his mental state of mind to John. Like purposely taking the cat's life, doing something nefarious, and the cat passed away. I wonder either way. Oh my God. Yep, it's pretty disgusting. Why did Brandon mention filming car crash video? Very strange lie. Well, when I talked to him on the phone the day before having him up on panel, he told me that they did do a car video, but he says it wasn't that day that Michael Vaughan was abducted. He said it was a few days before. I didn't understand why they let Stacey out after all of the red flags. I think that they hadn't finished getting everything they needed put together as far as the district court or a district attorney getting all the court docs and everything all ready to actually make that arrest. And then, of course, you know, he broke over 20 parole violations, which put him right back in prison where they wanted him. So they just put him right back to make him serve the rest of that sentence on that pew. And yeah, we now know that after he's released from there, he was arrested for Michael's murder and abduction. Was there a pew incident at a hotel with Stacey? I thought I recalled it being said. Yes, there was. And I believe that he did get in trouble for that. And then there was a whole hotel incident with Brandon's ex-girlfriend too. All of that kind of went down into a hotel. But yes, on a separate occasion, there was an incident at a motel having and involving a pew. I'm not sure if it was Stacey that had it or somebody that he was with, but there was definitely some stuff going down at that hotel. I'm still looking for some question. Yep, Stacey did talk about the duffel bag all over the YouTube streets. He even said it wasn't big enough to put a person in it when wasn't asked, and Brandon Shirtliff said the same thing. How many phones was Michael information pics found on? I know that Stacey Wandra had pictures of Michael on his phone. I don't know if Sarah or any of them had anything of Michael's on them. I only know of Stacey's, and I know that there was a few on Stacey's. A virtual hug from New Zealand. Oh my goodness. Sixth Sense Melia is from New Zealand. Michael has reached around the world. Butterfly Kisses, thank you for coming in. Says, my prayers are with you always. What a beautiful day or boy Michael is. I am almost sure that when Stacey sees you, he sees Michael because he is your mini me. Love and hugs to you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for being here. Whoa. I scrolled too fast. Hold on. You can call me Sam. I don't mind it. It's been Sam my whole life. Rarely ever get called Samantha. And when somebody says Samantha to me, they're saying it because they can't get my attention when they call me Sam, and then they have to do Samantha because it was always something that my parents or somebody would have to do. to get my attention. Looking. Hold on. My finger is slipping. Sam, have police looked at the vehicles in, what is this, infotainment system? I don't know. I have no clue. I am not privy to that kind of inside information. I just know how to answer the questions, general questions. Maybe selling the phones is a target on Facebook, Craigslist, targeting other children, in my opinion only, my thoughts only. Maybe could have been they were on Facebook, they were on Craigslist, they used many apps. Sarah and Adrian were using Snapchat apps and other apps to make fake profiles with using young girls' and women's faces to catfish and that kind of thing, or to scam to make money. It was in a private conversation, Callie, that I had with Brandon the day before I did a live with Brandon. I think I did share that with him though, but he did say that they did one. It just wasn't on the day that Michael was abducted. Can't Ellie get the things on phones through the company they had? I thought that is how it was done, even if they destroy them. Ivy, thank you so much for the question. I believe if they have the phone, they can. If they know what, cell phone places they're using, whether it's Verizon wireless or whatever, I believe they can request, because you have to fill out a report and request those things. And again, that may be just information that they have in this 20,000 pages of evidence and discovery. But that's also, not privileged information for us. I wonder if the police could get the video back like they did with Nancy Guthrie's case. Yeah, I don't know. They might be able to, and they might have already. We don't know. It's just one of those things. Adorable pictures. Thank you. You are welcome, Brandy. I'm paying. Uncle Google will get them. Sam, can you explain the scam on Craigslist in full detail before Michael's abduction? The scam on Craigslist. I know that Stacey Wander purchased a bunch of iPads, and he got a loan from a bank. It was a pretty hefty loan, and then went and purchased a bunch of these iPads, and then posted them up on Craigslist to sell them for like $1,500 or something like that, $1,500 or more. And he did not pay that much for them. He actually got a really good deal on some iPads. They could have maybe even been stolen. I mean, I'm speculating there, but he did get a really good price. And he explained this all on a recording I've played before. You can go back and watch the lives that I've done with Hot Mess, going over all of Stacey's recordings, and it will give more detail because you'll actually hear him talk about that. Hope that answered your question, hun. Oh, where did everybody go? Well, yep, there's two chats going. I got a chat from the vertical screen and the horizontal screen. I don't know if you guys see two. I only see one. Thank you for all that you do, Sam. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. It's all for Michael. It's all for Monkey and the Vaughan family. Little Kimmy, thank you for coming in. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Watching the Michael Vaughan case from Tennessee. Thank you for being here. Love me some Tennessee. I remember a creator saying that they helped remind him of the pictures with dates and times all of the day Michael was abducted. It's ironic, but so helpful of them. Yep, I remember that. Thank you so much, Chuck Anderson. Oh no, Wood Chipper gifted another PNW Crimes Revisited. If you received that membership, please thank Wood Chipper. I appreciate you so much, Wood Chipper, for everything you do. Does anybody else remember when Brandon's friend that Sam spoke to on a previous live said Brandon gave his phone to his son, but it was long gone? Yes, I do remember that. That was actually a phone that Brandon had. So right after Michael came up missing, Brandon got a new phone, but he kept his old phone. And it was Dan Guthrie that said that he had found a phone in a duffel bag, not the duffel bag we're talking about. I guess this duffel bag had just like a bunch of Brandon's stuff in it sitting in the back of the truck. And that that phone got sold. I can't remember who sold it, but yes, I do remember that conversation. Thank you for bringing that up because I forgot about that phone. Hasn't Brandon trafficked before? We know for a fact that he has trafficked, I will say math, but not math. It's another word for rugs. And, you know, look at this case. If it was Adrian's idea, like Stacey says it was, to sell Michael, then I absolutely positively believe 100% that he's been involved with trafficking before. I do know that he has tried, and I have shown the video here, that while he was in Fruitland, he tried to get one of his friends to let him use her picture so that he could make some money and some cash and make a fake profile and do some scamming, and then even asked her if she would be, like Brandy says, a lady of the night for him. And she was kind of like, hell no, no. So yes, he's been involved in a lot of weird crap like that. That's for sure. Nothing worse than having your kids sick. Sending incoming chicken soup. Well, I want soup. Randy absolutely hates being sick. I'll work on cars all day, any day. Oh, I don't mind working on cars. I used to tear apart and build, trucks and cars and stuff with my dad all the time when he was working on the cars and stuff. I don't mind working on them. I just don't want my vehicle to, I don't want my car to break down. It stresses me out, especially if I can't figure out what happened to it. Brandy says there is nothing in the world that I hate more than these 4 suspects. Right? God, I am far behind in chat, ain't I? Just trying to get everybody's question. What is the only time Stacey said something about giving Michael insulin? Beautiful disaster. That is a great question. So we heard at the preliminary hearing that Stacey Wandra talked to inmates that he was with in prison and told them that they used insulin on Michael. Very unfortunate, especially if it's true. We heard Brandy say in a news report that, Michael would have just fallen asleep. But yeah, that is where the insulin thing came from, was the preliminary hearing. A lot of information came from there. And it was actually one of the questions that Brandy asked Stacey Wandra when she questioned him right here on Missing PNW. She asked him if Sarah took insulin, and he said yes. It's hurting a child. Is there any way to get a gift to Brandy? You would have to discuss that with Brandy. I have a lot of people that ask me for her address. I'm just not comfortable giving out. I don't do that. I never know who it is behind the message asking. So that's something that Brandy would have to share. Sam should reach back out to him. Might know more than he thinks, and Sam's got great technique with finding discrepancies. I have actually just got a message not long ago from one of the gun threes, and I have been chatting a little bit. So were they stalking Michael? We don't know if they were stalking Michael. Michael wasn't out, of the house playing by himself all the time. This was just one of 2 incidences where he wandered away from the house. And the first one, he wasn't really by himself. He was following his brother. I don't personally believe that they were stalking Michael. I think that day they were out hunting for children. And on that day, Michael wandered off. And unfortunately, under those 2 circumstances, that is why Michael Vaughan was taken. Michael's spirit really lives through Brandy. When I look at these pictures, I see this. You believe the unbelievable bond that goes beyond words. It is so true. It really is. Still looking. Oh, question mark. True Crime Tribe, where do we find the trophy thing you watched? What did Tina tell the news station? Tina Marill said that the cadaver dogs hit on her leaky toilet. Mountain Search and Rescue came out and said that dogs are not trained, cadaver dogs are not trained to hit on human feces. And when the true crime show that I watched, I don't know the name of it. I watched it last night. I could get back to you on that and even put it in the comment section, either from this live or just put up a post But yeah, I don't mind sharing that with you guys at all. It was very, very interesting. Dr. Gary Barada, I can't ever say his name. Dr. Gary's book about serial killers is also a good book. Adrian Lucian, Brandy wants to know, have you used young women as mules? We know he has. He knows he has. Let's just see. Just looking. There's a message for you, Adrian. Police cars coming after your ass. Coming after both of you. If you really think that the both of you aren't going to be arrested, you're so mistaken. It's never too late to turn yourself in. If you know what you did is wrong and you are feeling guilty, go to LE. They ain't feeling guilty. They show no remorse whatsoever. We're doing a car video for Adrian Lucian's video, music video, because Adrian Lucian thinks he can rap, thinks he can do music. It sounds horrible. When did Adrian Lucian come into town? Well, let's just see. We have Stacey Wandra that says a week prior, 2 weeks prior, 3 weeks prior, a month, a couple months. We have Brandon Shirtliff that says a week before, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, a couple months. Then we had a guy that was up on Justin at Clutch Them Pearls panel say that he saw Adrian Lucian in the spring of 2021, months prior to Michael's abduction. We've heard stories that Adrian Lucian was found behind a dumpster by Sarah Wandra for a taxi run, and she brought a stranger home. But we've also heard that by Brandon that Adrian Lucian flew in, and other people are saying that he flew into Idaho. Adrian's excuse was that he came to Idaho to meet his son, and it's the first time he had ever met his son. But then he goes to Nampa and goes to Applebee's and sees his son one time in all of the months that Adrian was there. And yeah. So that was a hard question because there's so much in that one question. When did Brandon or Adrian come? Who was the redhead Adrian was involved with in using pics to troll on media platforms? Okay, let me find it real quick, you guys. I have it in a short. Just give me a moment and I will find it. I can't give out her name if that's what you're asking me for, because I'm not going to do that. That's why we've actually blurred out. I do know that she was the daughter of a very political man over in Ontario. Let's keep going. Let's see. It'll take me a minute. I made that short a while ago. Let me look. I must be missing it. I have a lot of shorts. Still looking for this video because I do have the information. So where is it? This is going to drive me nuts. I'm not having any luck finding it. Still here. I'm just looking. It was a while back ago, I think. I'll repost it or something because I can't find it right now. Sorry about that. I can't remember where it is. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I have it in here. Could be in my computer. Still. Is this it? I don't think so. This does talk about Adrian's scam, so let's throw this up here.
I don't know what her name was verbatim, but she had drove a gold Cadillac. And she was just this preppy girl, like super young. I don't know. I think she had like red hair or something, but like just preppy, you know, like had everything given to her.
This is the girl right here.
Handed it out to her, you know, and like it threw red flags, you know. But he was always constantly like he was always either going to Caldwell or Nampa or Boise.
Says really a chick threw red flags, but not the things Adrian was into or the real reason you had him stay with you.
But every time he went, it was he claimed to go see a female, and sometimes it was the same female on different occasions. But he was like most of the time he wasn't home during the day. He was always out trying to, you know, get with someone.
More about scam that Adrian was trying to run, isn't that a scam known use for human trafficking?
So I don't know, like I said, I don't know anything other than that he had approached it that night and I shut it down.
Adrian Lucian approached it that night.
So whether he was doing it after, like behind my back, and if Sarah knew something about it, then that's like between them. I cannot speak on that.
Okay, so you don't know if Sarah met any of those men?
No, and like I would have been like, I shut that down when she had approached that initially.
When she approached it, Sarah Wondra. What did Adrian, unnamed friend Emily, have to say? Our messages. He was most likely in and around Fruitland. I don't think I was with him that day, although I did hang out with him a few times that summer. I don't think like more than 4 times, she says. I can't really read that right now. What this says, I don't want to know of y'all going. Yeah, I can't read that. And then she's just talking about the times they spent together, 4 times. And then she says, he wanted to pimp me probably and wanted to use my picture and stuff to scam people, but I wouldn't let him. I feel like I saw him one time after that, or he tried to contact me at least, and he acted weird. So she's saying he was acting weird after the fact, because the question is, yes, do you happen to know where he was staying besides at the Fruitland house? I feel like I saw him one time after that. He tried to contact me at least, and he acted weird. And of course, she's saying he wanted to pimp her. Indicative of human trafficking. TikTok, Adrian. Sorry that took me so long to find. I knew I had it somewhere. I did do a short too. I just didn't know it didn't have her face on it. All that it takes, I appreciate you going over all that information. It's important. It really is important to me. I've tried it for so hard for so long to keep Michael in front of everyone's eyes. Yep, share, share, share. I wonder who else has been talking to in prison and what he has told them. Well, we know he told them about insulin. Brandon in the crawl space too. They just couldn't help telling on themselves. Yep, Brandon wouldn't stop talking about the crawl space at the Wanderer's house, and the cadaver dogs went down in that crawl space, but because of that cat urine, because they just opened up that door and let them all go down there to piss and shit in it, nothing was found. Did I hear something about using insulin on poor monkey? Yes, I just answered that question. Stacey Wanderer said that, well, inmates. He told inmates. And he says, isn't it lovely that all prison calls can be recorded and used? I think that's nice. Yeah, because they can't shut up. Sarah and Stacey can't shut up. Why don't Stacey's adopted mother and father testify to being assaulted from Stacey? They would make great character witnesses. I don't know that he was assaulting them. I've heard things about Stacey doing things to his sisters. But I mean, Tammy was asked by law enforcement, talk to Stacey, see, get him to say something or talk or whatever, and she did. She's a great woman. And if she had to go testify in front, in the courtroom, she will. And she'll tell the truth too. Did you ever see that writing that Sarah had? She had wrote boy and marked it out. It was a notebook paper anyway. That was strange. Yeah, and she was also writing all over herself with like Bible quotations and everything else. But yeah, she took a lot of notes. Her mom actually keeps a journal of everything. I am not trying to put his adopted parents down, but somebody needs to testify about what they have seen or known. Yep. Tammy definitely would, for sure. Cuteness overload on the ice cream and hairs. Thank you for showing the pictures. Let me just throw those back up, actually. It's great to be able to answer these questions, especially, when people spread misinformation and start the rumor mill going. Recently found out even if you turn off your location, they can get a search warrant to Google to find out your location. Yeah, it's all in the cloud too. Yeah, the confession footage with Stacey Wandra and his mom is out there. You can find it, and we went over it right here at Missing PNW. They had got new SIM cards, and Sarah, I remember correctly, said she didn't remember any passwords, so that might have hindered Ellie and how they get phone information. I'm pretty sure they got those passwords later on. All of that stuff that you are mentioning, everyone, that's FBI. There was even a FBI agent that came and stationed here from California for months working on Michael's case. Nice. I love that. I love finding out new information. That's new information to me. How does Stacey and his phone information if they got rid of SIM cards and phone? Because they were multiple phones. Multiple phones. They were constantly getting rid of phones, getting new phones, selling phones. Like, yeah, multiple. Reminder, if you have not hit that thumbs up button, please do so. Give it a boost. Was on the phone when I stalked him. There was a strange man walking in the neighborhood. I was headed to the police department anyways. I don't know what y'all are talking about. That's weird. My daughter had to call me the other day and tell me she thought she was being followed in the grocery store. She had her 2 girls with her. If anybody ever has that circumstance with your grandbabies or your children, and you think somebody is following you inside the store and you don't want to leave, you can get somebody, you can have them take you to your car, and you get in your car and you drive straight to the nearest police department. Don't ever go home. And if you feel too threatened, call the police and have them come where you are. kill somebody in the store. It's sad. It's happening all over their country right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry under your scars. I'm coughing like crazy, 2 weeks, chest, sinus, across the legs, fast. Oh no, that is a bad getting sick. 2:22 a.m. McSporin, you must be tired. I know I have some late night phone calls with some of my girls right here though, and we can go on and on and on till sometimes 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Trying to get through all the questions. Chuck Anderson's granddaughter, Tyler, told Chris Madonna to put them in a room with me for 5 minutes. Yep, he did. I heard that. That's on an interview that Chris Madonna did with Tyler. Went and spent some time at the family home in Fruitland. And, you know, after it, I mean, even before that, I knew Brandy and Tyler had nothing to do with Monkey's abduction. I knew that in the bottom of my heart. I knew it 100%. You could tell by everything that was being said, how law enforcement said that they were cooperating with police right from the beginning, how they all call each other family, how Brandy was even telling, you know, everybody in Fruitland police department that Michael was their son too, because they looked for him so hard and spent so much time. These officers are wanting justice just as much as the family. And after this interview with Chris Madonna and Tyler, he breaks it down, the timing. When he noticed that Michael wasn't around, what did Tyler do? Well, Tyler, you know, looks for him around the house, can't find him, gets in the van, drives around. He's looking for Michael. And Chris Madonna flat says that, you know, you had no time. There was no time for Tyler to have done anything to Monkey, because people in the house also have to be interviewed. The brother, the sister that were there, they were young, and Bubba was around 11. I believe, I want to say Blue was like 14, 15 years old when Michael came up missing. So law enforcement had to talk to them, ask them, what about last time you saw Michael? So the timeline gets created, and then they can tell, okay, there's this short window, and this is when Michael left the house, where he wandered around. And this is the time we see the GMC truck leaving at 7:08. So there's just this moment here. And when Chris Madonna broke it down, there was just absolutely no time that Tyler could have ever hurt Michael and then done something with him. Like, no, didn't happen. And I think Chris Madonna did a very good job of showing us that there was no time. And that he didn't. What Tyler has been through, after all of this, being the parent that was watching him when he wandered away from the house, he's never going to forgive himself. I hope Tyler does forgive himself, because it's not his fault. It's nobody's fault. This is what children do, especially children, you know, like Michael, because he was just so, you know, wanted to go play. He was happy all the time. He just wanted to find a friend to go play with. He was very energetic. He was very curious about everything. And that is the reason why Michael wandered away from the house, out of pure curiosity and wanting to, you know, hang out with friends, find a friend. Can I send something to a store or something she goes to so she would receive it? I understand privacy issues. I just wanted to make the family something special. Maybe send it to Albertsons. Honey, I can't answer any of those questions. So Brandy, if you see this in chat, yeah, I don't know where you could send it. I appreciate you wanting to send something to the family, but I just can't give out any information or tell you where to send it to them. Sorry about that. Has McDonough been around? He was talking about Stacey's trial coming. You know, Stacey Wander said that Chris McDonough was going to come to the preliminary hearing, and I got all kinds of excited, and he never showed. I was just remembering that night when I was in Vegas and you were working, I think, my shift at the bar, and that fight broke out between the cowboys and the bikers, and you handled that like a champ. And dude, I could see Brandy getting down. She Miss Badass. I think Monkey's Army is badass. Brandy says she got blood on her damn champion Cubs jersey. That was really what made me mad. There was bodies everywhere. Oh my God. I've never seen someone's face split open so quickly. Girls, settle down. Settle down. Adrian appeared in court in California prior to Michael's abduction. Brandy tried to squeeze that information out of Stacey Wander because we do know that Adrian had a court hearing that had to do with domestic violence just a couple of days prior to Michael's abduction. Did Adrian Lucien go to California? I don't know. But he has a lot of ties to people in California that do a lot of nefarious things. Could he have done like a FaceTime court thing? Possibly. I don't know. Me and Brandy actually talked about this about a month or so ago, because I was asking her. I think it's the one and only question that I've ever asked Brandy about Michael's case specifically, because I was trying to confirm some information. And yeah, we don't know if Adrian Lucien actually, went to California in person, or maybe just did a video chat, or maybe he didn't go and he got a warrant for his arrest. But apparently there was a court date scheduled for him to be in California for domestic violence. We got about 7 minutes and then I'm going to get off of here. So Adrian dad filed his lawsuit yet? Of course not. He ain't going to file a lawsuit against anybody. And if he does, he'll have to talk in court about his son and what his son did. And Adrian knows what he did. He's ashamed of his son. He would never go to court and talk about any of it, because if he went to court filing a lawsuit, he would have to talk about why he's so upset with this creator putting on information on his son. And then you talk about what that information is, and what the information is that Adrian Lucien has knowledge of and did or was involved in Michael Vaughan's murder and abduction. And he ain't ever going to talk about it. Yes, Callie, I was threatened. Yeah, pretty much to stop talking about Adrian. Or his daddy was going to sue me. And other people, I should say. I am on replay, so I am a bit late. Why would Brandy ask about insulin, as I had never heard that before? Well, Brandy probably heard that, Stacey Wander had told an inmate that they gave Michael insulin, so she asked him if Sarah took insulin, because usually it's only type 1 diabetics that have to take insulin, and Sarah was a type 2 diabetic. Michael was not. So you give a young child too much insulin, and there's only a few things going to happen. They are either going to go to sleep for a very, very long time as blood sugars will drop. They could go into a coma, and they could pass. But that is why Brandy asked him, is because there was mention of him blabbing his mouth. Nobody's using Adrian's dad's name. Lawsuit. Tell your son to tell law enforcement where Michael is. Protect him. Make him accountable. Exactly. Yeah, he should try it, please. He will never do it. He will never do it. He's so ashamed of Adrian. Always with no vehicle. Well, maybe I should ask Adrian's dad why he's not holding his son accountable for his actions. I mean, I don't have to be nice. I really don't. Woodchipper gifted another PNW Crimes Revisited membership. If you received that membership, please, please thank Woodchipper. Thank you, love, for all that you do. Let's do a little dance. He's just so evil to the core. They all are. They really are. They're just evil. I'm the oldest, but my youngest sister, Emmy, likes to try. She thinks the oldest sometimes. She's one of the only ones I let boss me around. This is such a good chat tonight, you know, just to be here, just to be relaxed, people cutting up, talking, sharing stories and everything, and then having all of these questions and being able to answer them, having Brandy here, you know. This is a good, nice, relaxed chat. I think we should do this a little bit more often just to, you know, this was relaxing for me, even though I'm here talking about Michael Vaughan, talking about suspects and everything else. It's relaxing to me in the way of I don't have to do any work. I just have to answer questions. And my mind has been all over the place lately, so that helps me. Just be able to relax and still work for Michael. Do you know how many times I have watched this over and over and over again, and it does not stick in my brain? It erases every time. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. It's amazing, everybody here tonight. Thank you guys so much. So if Adrian and Brandon are saying that Adrian was the only there for 2 weeks to 2 months, when did this conversation happen? I bet I know. I don't know that I know. Okay, let me read this again. So if Adrian and Brandon are saying that Adrian was only there for 2 weeks or 2 months, when did this conversation happen? I bet I know. Well, tell me. I want to know. I don't know when that conversation happened. Did it happen when they were in Twin Falls a few days before Michael was abducted? Because I know they met up doing some really, really crazy stuff. True Crime Tribe. That's the same with when they go over the description of what happens to Michael in the PCA. Got to get those PCAs. Those probable cause affidavits are available on both Sarah and Stacey Wandra on my Facebook for free with, you know, no watermarks on them. And that is Michael Vaughan Case Revisited Discussions Group. I will pin it right now. Everybody is more than welcome to come over. Let's see. This is the Michael Vaughan group. What else do I have that I can share for everybody? Don't forget that there is a reward for, coming forward with any information leading to Michael Joseph Vaughan. All you got to do is call the tip line at 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org anytime. Please let law enforcement decide whether or not that tip is credible, if it's making you sick to your stomach. If you know something, if you even heard a rumor and you don't think the rumor matters, please tell law enforcement. Just because Stacey Wandra is going to trial does not mean that law enforcement doesn't need any and all tips. It really, really helps. Here is also Michael Vaughan's playlist that I have created of all of my lives. You can just go over to Missing PNW Crimes Revisited, click on playlist, and there are quite a few playlists. I have Michael Vaughan's videos, and I have Michael Vaughan lives. Those are the lives that I have done where I have put out a lot of information on Monkey. And, the information that I put out, I do a lot of court docs, factual things. It's really interesting to see, especially if you're new. And then Monkey Monday, you can go over to the round table where Wendy makes beautiful, beautiful videos. She covers so much information, timelines. Purple does Monkey Monday every single Monday. She promised Brandy that she would do that, and she has continued to do that. So please grab those links. Also, in the Michael Vaughan Case Revisited Facebook group, I do put my information from my lives over there for people to do lives, for people, like me that love court docs that want to read all of it for myself. It's over there. It's available. My girl Tiff sent a package to Brandy. She wants to know if you have gotten it yet. Did he have a court hearing in Cali prior? Yes, it was prior to Michael Vaughan's abduction. It was just a few days. Let's see. She can't remember any of her passwords, yet she writes everything down. She knew what her passwords were. She just didn't want to tell anybody what they were. Just looking through chat here. Don't want to miss any questions. Mixborn says here, the powers that be have up our world. Our children should be able to walk the streets without the fear and threat of monsters like these 4 demons. It breaks my heart. Absolutely. Our back in our day, we could go anywhere, do anything, and not have to worry about it, right? Tyler would never do that. He does not have that in him to do anything like that. He has always been a kind and loving person. I will never forget how happy he was when he found out Brandy was pregnant. Oh, yeah, Tyler would never. He's so soft-hearted. He really is. I got that from him when I was down there. Is Tyler even a question for some people still? Stacey did a whole confession to his mom and Ellie twice, shaking my head. I don't get it. They all 4 suspects admit to having knowledge, period. That's the fact. You want to take everything else out, just look at that. Whether Stacey has confessed to it or not, all of them have talked. That's why we have so many tips that have come into Michael's case. Just looking through. Another warrant, maybe. All 4 of these scumbag suspects are violent, drug-using, unlawful pieces of you-know-what. Some people shouldn't be so gracious with their involvement having kids themselves. Exactly. But they're not even fathers. Even the ones that have kids, they're not even really fathers. They don't see their children. Don't forget that Stacey had said to Chris Madonna that it was Sarah's insulin stuff when he found the Bibles. Ooh, thank you. I'm writing this one down. It's just another short. Thank you. Yep, better write down Chris M. Confession footage. Goodness, you are good. Hell, you probably watch everything a billion cajillion times. You know everything. That's a great, great, great thing. Not a great thing like that. You know what I mean. Just information I had forgot was there. Right? Show me what you got, Mr. POS father. He ain't got nothing. How much longer from April will the trial actually start? We'll know. And here's the thing. So Stacey goes before the district court on April 15th at 10 a.m. in the morning. And they may or not set a date for trial. They usually do at that time. But you already know that Stacey Wandra's attorneys are going to try to put this off over and over and over again. The DEA might have to put something off for a short. So this is going to get pushed back. But the great thing is we know that Stacey Wandra has asked for a speedy trial. And he's done that for a reason. He doesn't want to sit in prison any longer than he has to. He thinks that he is going to get off even after trial, even after this preliminary hearing. He still thinks he's going to get off. And so he wants a speedy trial so he doesn't have to keep staying in prison. So I don't know that Stacey's going to allow his attorneys to keep putting this off, because that's normally what happens. Attorneys take advantage of the fact that they can ask for more time to give them time, and they're going to need it with over 20,000 pages of discovery. And gosh, I just love this question. Yes, I mean, we don't know when it's going to happen, when it's going to start, but Stacey Wandra wants a speedy trial. He doesn't want to sit in prison. So hopefully his attorneys, just do it. A hot tub interview every time he needed to think about it. He'd take a swig out of his can to buy him more time. Absolutely. Brandon Shirtliff did that. Oh my gosh, yes. Just looking. Hope you guys grab some of those links. Click the like button. Holy frig, I made it. I made it all the way down to the bottom. I answered all the questions that were in chat. I made it all the way. Okay, thank you, Mama V and Samantha, for answering these questions. If I did miss any, I'm very sorry. But man, I started up at the top from the beginning of the live and went down. So guess what that means, you guys? I'm getting the hell out of here. I made it to the bottom, and we're running on 3 hours and 9 minutes. If anybody has any information about Michael Joseph Vaughan, please come forward and give it to the tip line. 208-646, or let me start over. Tip line phone number 208-642-6006, or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Michael Vaughan was abducted from Fruitland, Idaho on July 27th, 2021. There are 4 suspects in Michael's case. They have been named suspects. The district attorney says he is charging all individuals in Michael's case. Their names are Stacey Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Adrian Lucian, and Brandon Shirtliff. Stacey Wandra will go to trial. He will be charged and is being charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Sarah Wandra will be released from prison October 2026, but not as a free woman. She will also be charged. There's a hold and a warrant for her arrest. She will be charged when she is released in October of 2026 for first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Brandon and Adrian, they run, they hide, they're cowards. Brandon knows where Michael is right now and refuses to give Brandy and Tyler back their son. Their brother, their sister, or their brother, their nephew, their grandson. It's time to bring Michael home. Brandon, just go talk to police, please. Again, if you have seen Adrian Lucian, call in the tip line 208-642-6006. Tell Fruitland Police where you seen Adrian. Now that Adrian knows that the heat's on him and that I'm hating on him hard, he is going to try running. So let's keep track of him. And if you see Brandon Shirtliff, ask him where Michael is. Holler it. You don't have to get close. I don't want anybody to get hurt. All I'm saying is this really worked in Kyron's case? Just asking the suspects, even if you want to ask the suspects on social media. Don't get yourself in trouble. I'm just asking you to ask Brandon Shirtliff where Michael Vaughan is. A lot of information has came out. I really appreciate everybody coming in. I thank you guys for being here, supporting me, the Vaughan family, and Michael. We are Monkey's Army. We're not going anywhere, ever. Not until all 4 suspects are locked up. That is the goal. All 4 suspects to just sit in prison for the rest of their life. And they're all looking at the DP. An abduction and a murder doesn't sit easy in Idaho courts. And we're talking about a 5-year-old little boy, Michael Joseph Vaughan, our monkey. We love you, Brandy. I know you've been having a hard time, babe, but we love you. And we're here for you anytime you need us. You want to do a relaxed live and just come into chat to shoot the shit? We'll do that if that's what you need and lift you up. Always, always, always here for you, every single one of us. Again, if anybody has a tip, please, please call law enforcement. Let them decide if your tip is credible. It's so very important. You can't hold that in. It's got to be just making you sick to your stomach. Be Monkey's hero. Be the Vaughan family hero. They need to lay Michael to rest. They need a place to go. They need to know where he is. They need to be able to go talk to Michael, to go sit and cry with Michael. They just want Michael home. And if you have information that could help, Brandy would hug and kiss you all over if you turned in that tip. Let me tell you, they don't want anything more than to bring Michael home. Please call in a tip if you have any information, whether you believe it's rumor or not. 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org. Again, slower, 208-642-6006, or email findmichael@fruitland.org. I love you guys. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for your questions. I hope I was able to answer all of them. Thank you for all the support for the Vaughan family. I really, really appreciate it. Share Michael's face. Opal came in. She left a message. Just a gentle reminder, you are appreciated. Don't ever give up on yourself, and don't listen to others who give up on you. You matter, and I believe in you. Thank you so much, Opal, for the beautiful messages. Your heart is so big, and we love you so much here at Missing PNW. Just absolutely love having you here. Rest well, Brandy. Have the best chat, I swear. Prayers to you, Tyler Blue, and entire extended family. We are Monkeys Army, strong, supportive, and massive. We are everywhere. We really are everywhere. Thank you for that. Chuck Anderson's granddaughter. Happy St. Patrick's Day, McSporn. I hope you're celebrating over there. If you see something, say something. Please, Brandon, tell law enforcement where Michael is. The last message for the night. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, and rest well. Monkeys Army, you are incredible. Justice is coming. We will find you, Michael. Mama Pinky promise, Michael. We're gonna find you. Mama's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for coming in.